Hello, my name is Leroy Blevins. Welcome to Mysteries and Histories. In this episode here, what I want to do is talk about mysteries and histories. Now, for the past quite a few years, since 2008, I've been posting videos and stuff on YouTube. And when I came up with the idea for mysteries and histories, actually I wanted to start my own TV show called that. So, we can do investigations into certain cases from history and everything else and reveal the answers for people on each series. But, you know, I didn't get a chance to talk to anybody or anything else, to get the TV series going. So I decided, well, let's go ahead with YouTube. Because YouTube, you can just sign up and stuff and then you can post videos and everything else like that. Now, I've been doing research and investigations for 39 years now. I started when I was 12 years old. And in that time, last 39 years, I've uncovered a lot of evidence over the years. Even though people want to sit there and say, no, it's theories or one thing or another. But as I also point out that when I present the evidence, I have something to show. You see what I'm saying? I have something to show for it. Whether the JFK assassination or Patterson giving a Bigfoot film or Noah's Ark, or any research I've ever done. I've done a lot of research over the years looking for answers. When I first started doing research, the answers I was looking for was for myself because when I start talking to people and contacting people and everything else, when I start making discoveries and stuff, I got people, they got really rude with me, especially when I was talking about Noah's Ark. They got real rude with me and stuff, and they said, "Oh no, you just don't understand," or one thing or another. And that's like, hey, wait a minute, how can I not understand? I've been reading the Bible since I was 12 years old. And there's a lot of things that the Bible gives us answers for. It all depends what you're looking for, what kind of answer you're looking for. The answers have always been there in the Bible. And as I present in my research as well, the evidence has always been in front of the public's eye. Whether it's, from ancient times or whatever, the evidence has always been there. Also, during my time in research and stuff, I also have to investigate the stories that surrounds that case or whatever I'm working on. You know, there's a lot of things that you have to do as a researcher slash investigator. And there's a lot of things you have to go over and you have to point out the false claims so the truth can be revealed. Same thing as I did. And I really start thinking about this lately is when, I started looking to the Robert Kennedy assassination. And it's like, they said this case is closed, just like when they talk about the JFK assassination, it's closed. The Noah's Ark story, that case is closed. The Zodiac killer, people says they solved this case, they solved that case, all these things they solved. But there's no evidence to present. I mean, where's the evidence to prove the case is finally closed? You see what I'm saying? That's what I do here. It's not like I'm smarter than anybody else or, you know, anything like that, or trying to put myself above anybody else because I figure everybody on this earth is equal, no matter what race, what color, doesn't matter. Everybody's equal. But it's just what gets me is when you're doing research and investigation, there's always that lack of evidence. I mean, we hear the stories. Okay, I've been working on the documentary for JFK here, and hopefully I'll have it done by the end of next month. But I'm really pushing because, like I said, there's a lot of things that we're putting in this, 3D models and everything else we're putting into this because I want everybody to be able to see exactly what occurred that day. And, ballistic tests we're doing and, all this other stuff that we're going to be going over that's going to be put in this documentary. I'm working hard on it. And there's a lot of things, that's why I've been making videos a lot lately. But there's a lot of things as I point out in my research, where you'll never find nobody else. That's what gets me. In a researcher point of view, you'll never find the evidence. You'll never find the things from my research in anybody else's research. Okay, let me pull up some examples here. When it comes to JFK assassination, okay, they'll show you images. Okay, they'll show you images, which I'm going to pull these stuff out. They'll show you images of certain things, then they'll talk about it and they'll go over it, and they'll point out a picture or whatever. But as you know, in my research, my investigation, I make models. Okay, I make models so I could feel just like the bullet casings, because we're not allowed viewing the bullet casings. We're not allowed touching the bullet casings. We're not allowed touching the bullets they retrieved there or anything else. But this gives me an opportunity and a chance to touch the bullets and, thoroughly examine the bullet casings and the bullets and everything else. Okay, these are things that I do here. No other researcher will do this. No other research will do this. I take my own measurements, as you see right here. I take my own measurements to see everything lining up, make sure everything's, pristine the way it was. Okay, I try to replicate that. Okay, a lot of researchers will not replicate anything. They'll tell you the story to present the images, but what else they get to present? But me, I go ahead and I say, well, I want to present the images, but, it'd be best if you can examine the object itself, just like this right here. Or when like the manhole cover, I go there to Dealey Plaza and I examine the bullet holes that's still left there in the concrete of the manhole cover. Okay, I take plaster cast of them, which no one's never done this before. We took plaster cast of them and stuff so we can have that on file and have this marked down, just like the bullet casings and the bullets and stuff. When I was sitting there, because this one really got me thinking, is when I was going over the Robert Kennedy case, okay, they said a lot of evidence was destroyed in a fire. Okay, images and everything else at the hospital, all this stuff was destroyed. But there's nothing to back it up, nothing copying it. That's why I do the things I do, like the bullet casings. Okay, make replicas of the bullet casing just out of clear blue. Maybe they be lost one day. Or the bullets. So people in the future would know exactly, hey, but here's the bullet casing. It's not the bullet casing, but it's a replica, so we can see and we can examine it. This is what it looked like. Okay, like I said, we made replicas of each one. And here's the bullet that they retrieved from the grass area and stuff like that. The other bullet my son's got, and then when you look at that bullet, you say, well, okay, we see the fine warpness at the bottom. Okay, we see the little dent at the top here. Okay, but that's pretty, pretty pristine, for a bullet to go through two people and all this stuff. Okay, these are the reasons why my research is different than everybody else's. Okay, just like when it came to Patterson and Gimlin Bigfoot film. Okay, we hear the researchers tell us that nobody in the world can make a replica of the suit that was used in the Patterson film. So since no one can make it, that means it has to be a real creature. But no one's never took that time to take to do that test and see if that can be replicated. And here's what I did. I made a copy of that suit, which is it's up here somewhere. Okay, here's one image of it. I made a replica of that suit. Excuse me, I had to take a drink. I made a replica of that suit to see if it can be done. Then after I made that suit, I had to sit there and put it through testing and see if there's muscle movements and stuff. When you look at the suit and stuff, you feel it. You can feel the back muscles in it. You can feel the rib cage in it. Shoulder blades you can feel in it and stuff, because it's based on the padding and how I put it together and stuff like that. But it's almost a duplicate of the Bigfoot we see in the film, as you see here. And these are still shots. This is a still shot from somebody wearing my suit right here, as you see right here. It's from a movie called Ernie and Ace Wild Adventures full movie. Okay, this is a movie that they use my suit in. As you see here, my nephew Timmy is actually in a suit right here. That's one image. And here's the other one right here. Okay, which I'll shrink this so you can see it over here. Okay, this is the suit. And when people watch the movie, they're like, oh my God, you can see muscle movement. Is that real? You know, but then, you know, you can see it wasn't because he didn't wear the feet padding. He wore regular shoes and stuff like that. But if he wore feet padding, it looked actually almost real. Just like when I examined the film, the Patterson and Gimlin Bigfoot film. Okay, we hear a story. Bob Gimlin said he was, you know, on his horse the whole time, but here's Bob Gimlin behind the brush. Okay, when I find this and I present this, yeah, people puts me down for it. People gets mad and upset over it because I'm disproving this film. Just like when I sit there and point out, well, there was somebody taken out because we know the film was edited now because there was somebody taken out of this film here. And then when we view it, we're going to find out it's actually John Green. Okay, his profile fits that blur mark that walks across front of the screen into the film. You see it walking and then bending down. Actually, it was John Green they took out of the film because John Green wasn't supposed to be there the time Roger Patterson then was filming the Bigfoot. But by the films and by the surroundings and the evidence I collected, yeah, he was there at the same time. You know, like I said, there's a lot of things that I've done in my research. People just like, okay, biggest thing when it came to Noah's Ark, they said, well, there's no possible way a flood could happen because of 8 people cannot take care of all these tons of animals, okay, and 4 guys cannot build this gigantic ark, and, you know, 8 people take care of billions of animals, is what they're going to tell us. So the flood can never happen that way. But when you go into doing the research and investigation, you look into that case, and you say, well, wait a minute. You come to find out by the stories and everything else that each one of the stories tell a different style and shape of the ark, same as the Bible. The story is the same, but always the builder's different, the people's different, and the design of the ark is different. That's one thing different, but everything else is exactly the same. So people looks at it, well, they're just changing the story around. No. What if it was all these arks made? So when I looked into that, and then come to find out that during the time of Noah, there was actually 12 arks made. Okay, here's the true design of Noah's Ark right here. Okay, as told in the Bible. See, no roof vent or anything else. The door at the top level. Okay, well, I found that ark, which is right here. As you see right here. Here's the front of the ark, the side of the ark. There's a door on the top level, as it states. Okay, the left side of the ark is gone. Here's another image of Noah's Ark at rest. Here's the image, and this is thermal images of it. Noah's Ark is there, but at the same time, when I was viewing, searching for Noah's Ark, here's the top of Noah's Ark right here. Here's the top of Noah's Ark. But also found in the satellite image, the other ark that people's claim, the eyewitnesses accounts claim they've seen an ark that was a square box ark with a roof vent running down the center. Okay, here's that ark that eyewitnesses claim to see. There's actually 3 arks, because there's 2 of the arks right there. And here is the 3rd ark that's on Mount Ararat, which I just saw that image. Well, I just did have it here. I knew I had it here, but sorry about that. Just like I said, you know, I've been looking through a lot of files and stuff trying to get all this together. Here's the close-up of the ark that has a roof vent on it. As you see, it's a man-made structure. It's squared off. Okay, see how the line's square? It's all squared off. Snow's covering it as well. So you see, there's actually more arks made in the time of Noah. Well, here's the other ark. Here's the other ark sitting on the edge of Mount Ararat. Okay, there's 3 arks on Mount Ararat. Okay, this is the ark that was the ark seen by George Agopia. Okay, I look for those answers, and when I'm looking for those answers, I find evidence to back it up, to make sure, just like when I look for the Garden of Eden. When I look for the Garden of Eden, here's the true location of the Garden of Eden, which is Iraq and Iran. Okay, it starts in the River Jordan on is actually where the Garden of Eden is. As you see right here, I marked the location. Okay, here's where I marked the location of the cherub that God placed at the end, at the east of garden, at eastward of garden. Here's that cherub right here. You can't see it from ground level. You can only see it from above. Okay, these are cases I've worked on. Okay, and I find evidence of stuff. And like I said, when I was sitting there working on Robert Kennedy case, and I start looking at this, and we start seeing things like, you know, Sirhan was right here. How did he shoot Robert Kennedy? How did these people over here got shot by him when he was taking 2 shots and slammed against this table here? And if he had kept on firing his revolver that he had, would end up striking either body behind the table here, the serving table, or the wall. But there's bullet holes in the doorway here. So there had to have been a gunman right here, and it had to have been a gunman right close to Robert Kennedy. But like I said, I do these things in my research. Okay, I do these things in my research because everything has to be documented. There's always got to be some kind of evidence put away somewhere because we don't know. As people, we don't know. One day, all the records on JFK can be completely wiped out and gone. We already know a lot of records is destroyed in the Robert Kennedy assassination. Wonder if a lot of other things start getting destroyed in different cases. Okay, where are you going to find them cases can be forgotten? Or where are you going to find the evidence to show people it's going to be gone? Am I correct? So this is the reason why I do the research. This is the reason why when I started it, I said I wanted to make a TV show called Mysteries and Histories because I'm willing to take the time to sit down, go over everything, look into the case, find the evidence, and present the evidence. A lot of researchers won't do that. They'll say, I'll put it in the book and there you go. Just like people steal stuff off of me, and they have. Just like I was the first one when in 2002, this is actually a drawing I've done of the Bigfoot I seen when I was coming home from work one day. This is what it looked like because I was 20 to 25 feet away. So I did research on it and come to find out that, hey, these are Edomites. Their stories told in the Bible. Well, now a lot of Bigfoot researchers out there are coming out with the same thing. Issue, Bigfoot in the Bible and stuff. Okay, I'm the first one who brought that out. Stuff in the JFK assassination. I brought stuff out, and all of a sudden, next thing you know, other people started bringing out the same thing I'm putting out. I find the evidence, okay? I go there, I do things, I investigate it, I look over things and stuff like that. That's why I wanted to do a TV show called Mysteries and Histories because they got TV shows, they got reality shows out there, but they're not showing us nothing. Okay, where's the evidence at? Okay, I've done paranormal investigations, I've done Bigfoot investigations, and I have to look at it both ways. Just like you have to be a skeptic, basically, when you're doing research. You have to be a skeptic, but you can also be a believer at the same time. Okay, over here you have believers, and over here you have skeptics. And then you got these two people collide. But if you have one person that's a skeptic and a believer at the same time, he's going to figure things out and make sure it's done the right way, just like me. Okay, I'm a believer and a non-believer, basically, unless I see the evidence. So I'm going to look for that evidence, and that's what I've always do in my research and my investigations. I just wanted to make this video here to show people, 39 years now I've been doing research investigations. I look for evidence. I present the evidence, and I get a hard time for it, especially when it comes to JFK assassination or the Patterson getting a Bigfoot film. I get, people put me down all the time over this stuff. And, just because I believe in Bigfoot, because I've seen one, okay? I seen one. And if I had the funds and stuff like that, and I was like these other researchers, Bigfoot researchers, I wouldn't, like when they're told, well, we seen a Bigfoot here a day ago. Okay, well, we just sit there and looked at it. Okay, we see the tracks. So what we're going to do, as a Bigfoot researcher would do, what we're going to do is set up our tents and whatever and cameras in this location here. I wouldn't do that. I said, well, okay, here's the tracks. Let's follow them. Don't stay there. Follow them tracks and find out where they're going to lead you to. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what you got to do as a researcher or an investigator. Okay, people usually don't go back to the same location, especially Bigfoot. You got to understand them. People knocks on trees and stuff. Okay, you're letting them know you're in the area when you're knocking on trees and stuff. Oh, you got to do this because I'm a professional at it. Okay, if a Bigfoot researcher is professional at it and they know all about Bigfoot and stuff, why haven't they captured one? You know what I'm saying? Or have real footage of one. Okay, that's why I look at, nobody's an expert. Okay, nobody, even myself, is not an expert in anything. Okay, because to be an expert in something, you have to know everything. You better have completely all the evidence and stuff, to present stuff. Then you might, I wouldn't even still qualify you as an expert because there's no such thing as an expert, to be honest with you. Okay, I've been in construction for 35 years, and there's no such thing as an expert. But I want to present some stuff here and show some people. Okay, um, there's a lot of things that's out there that one day is going to be gone. Okay, it's going to be gone. And where are you going to have, then where are you going to turn to? What are you going to look for? That's the reason why I make my videos and stuff like that. That's the reason why I wrote my books. So to be some kind of record, just like when a documentary is done, when I get that done, everything's going to be properly documented so future people will know about it. Okay, because nobody lives forever. Even though people says, you can live forever now, there's no such thing as living forever. But I just want to make this video here, just go over some stuff, reason why I came up with Mysteries and Histories. I wanted to be a TV show. I've even, wrote to the History Channel and Discovery Channel and all of them to do a real TV show, basically. I'm going to say a real TV show and actually show real evidence on cases and stuff, because the cases I worked on and the evidence I have uncovered could at least be about 4 seasons long to go over just certain things. But, that's what it is. So I just want to make this video here to let everybody know how long I've been doing research is 39 years. The reason why I came up with Mysteries and Histories and stuff, everything has to be documented. Plus, I wanted to point out some things that other researchers don't do, okay, but I do it. Other researchers won't do it, but I do it. Okay, I always have to do it because people think I'm just trying to prove to them, but I'm not just proving to them, I got to prove to myself too. You see what I'm saying? I got to prove to myself too. So, in the description down below, you find a site where you can always order my book, Evidence of Conspiracy. The only book you need in JFK assassination, or if you want to order, also on Amazon, you'll find my book, The Patterson and Gimlin Bigfoot Film, 1967, which, is my research book. If you want to know about the Patterson and Gimlin Bigfoot film, I have a book called Noah's Ark. You can get that book as well. If you want to know anything about Noah's Ark and the Great Flood and, how I uncovered all that stuff and know more about Noah and his family, you'll find it in that book as well. So don't forget that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. Thank you, and you have a pleasant, pleasant day.